I'm pretty much obsessed with, ever since I, wanted to be in fashion and be a fashion journalist. His name has been synonymous with excellence and being a legend and an icon. If you know anything about style and fashion and what legacy he has created in this industry, then you know it's a really big deal that we have him here today. Our September cover story was about him. Naomi Campbell was on the cover, but it was about this man, and he has just done so much for the culture, and he is now having a resurgence because of a really special partnership. But I would love to introduce and welcome to the stage, and you guys have to help me, the father of Harlem fashion and just swag in general, Dapper Dan. Yes, always just smooth. This man is smooth. I love it. Do you see all these beautiful people standing in the rain?
Wow, thank you so much for coming out in the rain. This is amazing, man. I love my people. I love them.
Okay, let's sit down and chat a little. This is a legend right here, y'all. Please get a picture because he is just everything. We're actually neighbors too.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay, so Dab, I wanted to talk to you with these guys because we put a really, really special September cover together, right?
Yes.
I knew I wanted the story to be about Dapper Dan because he's a legend and his story needs to be told. To bring Naomi Campbell on board because of you. She was like, if it's about Dap, I'm there. We then had Andre Leon Talley write the article. He interviewed you and wrote the cover story. And then we had Jamel Shabazz, the legendary street style photographer from Harlem, actually shoot the cover. That was insane and incredible. Can you tell us what it was like to work on this?
This was completely amazing. To be with Andre Leon Talley, the king of fashion, and then Naomi Campbell, the queen, and she came to my store the first time with Mike Tyson when she was 19 years old. And she came to the store with Mike Tyson when she was like 19 years old. So to work with her and the king, the queen and the king, Andre Talley was just amazing, and Julee and Jamal Shabazz, this was amazing. You guys really need to know what this whole journey is about. Andre Leon Talley and Naomi Campbell, their journey was amazing because my journey was up a black staircase. Everything that I accomplished through people of color. They had to go up the other staircase and endure all the things, the racism and the stuff that they had to encounter. And for us to be at this point where we can come together and do this black thing is amazing.
It is, and it's because of the community and black folk that really, I mean, we've all known Dap's receipts. You know, if you saw any of, the hip hop artists back in the day rocking those, jumpsuit, the track suits in the Gucci 12, the Louis Vuitton 12, that was Dap. Those Cadillacs with the interior, with all of the designer labels, that was Dap. So we've seen him through the years, but now the world is really taking notice because there was a little incident that happened last year when a certain fashion company, Gucci, put down a jacket down the runway that looked very similar to a design that you had done, and it was Black Twitter. Come on, Black Twitter. It was Black Twitter that really brought attention back to your designs and your legacy, which now has created this amazing, beautiful, just dope partnership with Gucci. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It was amazing, actually, because I've been like since 2000. I think the first cover of a magazine, I think, was Marc Jacobs in 2000, copied something I did. So I always took it for granted when we didn't have a voice for us to stop them from doing something like that. Then all of a sudden, I thank God that I was able to last and to be recognized today so that Black Twitter would know my stuff when they saw it. So when Black Twitter just went on a rage against what was happening, that turned the whole tide around. And that's responsible for where we are today. And you're looking at something that started from a table. I started selling clothes first out of the back of my car, then out of a table in Harlem. And for me to be able to do that there wouldn't have been possible. It would not have been possible if it wasn't for Black Twitter. So, you know, that's why I come in. Every opportunity I get to tell a story, I'm going to tell the story because it's so amazing to see what our culture has done today, all over the world. We've been in almost 101 magazines since this took place. And so this is spreading our culture that started here around the world. So it's amazing. And Black Twitter, we have Black Twitter, we have everyone out here to thank for what's going on today.
Absolutely. Can you tell us, like, so we've all, I'm sure you've all seen the first collection that you've created with Gucci. What can we expect next? You also, I mean, if you read the cover story, you'll also hear that there's a lot of exciting projects coming up in the near future. What can you tell us about? What can your fans expect coming from you?
Well, the next stage, and I'm so excited about this, I've seen out here today a lot of African wear. And if you notice the European brands, whether you're conscious of it or not, they use symbolism associated with European brands. So I want to twist that slightly to represent who we are today and incorporate that into the brand that we'll be doing, like, as I move on from Gucci. But one of the most important things about that is that we need to be more conscious and start supporting. We need to know exactly what happened, because if Black Twitter hadn't done this, Virgil Abloh wouldn't be where he is now. So that's a sign. That's a sign to how much power we have now. And in addition to that, I have, so that young people coming behind me will know, I have my memoirs coming out by Random House, and after that it'll be a movie by Sony Pictures. So the whole story will be told.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. To Dapper's point, you know, you really have to stop and think about the fact that we helped make this partnership with Gucci happen just by, you know, a lot of times we feel like we can't make a difference. Literally from our tweets, we held a huge luxury brand accountable and put a spotlight on someone who we've loved and cherished in our community for a long time. And this partnership is just amazing too. Tell us about because when we did the photo shoot for the September issue, we also shot in Harlem, which you can tell us about your love for Harlem because you are a Harlem boy, but also the fact that we shot it in front of the atelier. So not only there's a partnership with Gucci, but there's an actual home for your designs now.
Oh yeah, I have a store, atelier in Harlem. But let me tell you about the whole campaign. My generation, we never expect anything from people outside of ourselves to recognize us. So when they first came, when Black Twitter started going crazy on them, and they first came to me, I said, I don't believe this. And then my son Julee, who's on the
shout out to Julee, my brother.
He said, Dad, we really need to listen to what they're talking about. Dad, we really need to listen, because I wasn't really trying to hear it, because they've been doing it to me for 30 years, so I wasn't really trying to hear it. My son would say, we really need to listen. So I said, okay, tell them to come to Harlem, tell them to come to my brownstone in Harlem, and let's talk.
You said, tell all them Gucci people,
they said,
you better come to Harlem, if you want to talk to me.
If you want to talk. They sent the executive team to Harlem, to the brownstone, and we sat down and ironed out this deal. I said, okay, I do not want to be window dressing, because y'all been using us for window dressing too long.
Preach.
You know, this is not going to be a collaboration. This has to be a partnership. So we ironed out a deal for a partnership, and we sat down and worked it out. And so here's how I played this stuff out. The first campaign we did it with Gucci, with the collection that they had that was already ready to go, right? And in that campaign, they used people of color, and they did that campaign in Harlem, and they put money in Harlem.
Amen.
Yeah.
Clap it up, y'all. That is just amazing.
Yeah, and so from there, we moved on to my collection, and my collection has the same outcome. We use people of color. You look at the advertisement, you see people of color. But now we need to take this a little further, because not just Gucci. Let me tell you what Louis Vuitton did. You gotta look at how this played itself out. When you, everything that we was doing in the 80s and 90s, you gotta look how it was structured. Supreme, when you look at the collection for Supreme, let me tell you what Louis Vuitton did. The day that they debuted that collection at the runway show, they issued letters to everyone who was attending that show to say that the Supreme collection was inspired by Dapper Dan. So they didn't get no flap back.
Hey.
But the whole Supreme collection that you young people are wondering out there run, go back and do your homework, you'll see that the whole collection is inspired by Dapper Dan. That's number one.
Say it.
And what you saw with Gucci Ghost, that's also was inspired by Dapper Dan. And let's take it further. If you go back and you look at me and Misa Hilton, Puff Daddy's baby mother,
Shout out to Misa.
in the Black Rob video with the Fendi, you'll see everything that I did during that Black Rob video with Fendi, you'll see Fendi doing it now. So when you look at the collections, do your history, because everything that we did in the 80s and the 90s, they're repeating it. The reason they're repeating it is because our culture is so powerful now, it's circling the globe. You know, and it's no longer where their children are following the culture of our children. So you guys here today, y'all are determining what the world will. How the world's, everybody's gonna be rapping. They got Chinese rappers, Australian rappers, and that just gives you an indication of how powerful our culture is. So we just need to do our homework and know exactly what's going on. Because it might happen like rock and roll. Young people today don't know rock and roll is ours. And you see rock and roll artists still today in their 70s and 80s. Where are our artists? Where they're doing tours.
You're preaching. I mean, I think this is amazing. And to keep that knowledge, like you said, really pay attention to what's going on. Because not only can we tweet change, but we can put our dollars where they matter and who's talking to us and where it's in our community. That's why I think it's so amazing that this whole marketplace is all Black-owned businesses, and we are just so happy to have you here, Dap. We don't want to take up too much of your time, but thank you so much.
Every chance I get, Julie, especially to sit down with you, every chance I get, I'm telling a story. So y'all don't forget, y'all go home, take this story with you, do your homework, quit letting other people steal our culture. Don't you know this is the first musical genre that we ever made money off? This is the first time. All those are in the clothing business and that, this is the first time. The first time. So we need to keep repeating what's happening today and be conscious of our effect of our culture on the world.